Good afternoon, gamers! It's been a fat minute, and it's also been a fat minute since I've worked on this, for the sole purpose of I've just haven't had motivation. But I've been learning scripting, I've been taking some tutorials, and as you read on the description of this game, if you guys don't know what it's called, it's featured on my profile page. It's called the Lost Precepts Selkouah, which started out as a island. And actually, fun fact, I have a massive notebook which I like to draw maps in. I'll be honest, I am a nerd and a geek for alternate history, and this entire map came straight out of my notebook, and I wanted to see what it would look like in real life, and so I decided to do that here in Roblox Studio. And so this is the shape of it. This is what it looks like in my notebook. If I decide to edit this, then there will be a picture provided of the notebook drawing. I had all of this built at one point, or at least the base model of it. I was still working on the mountains. And then let's see, there's a plugin here called Part Counter, which I highly recommend you guys get. It keeps track of all the voxels, the parts, the instances, keeps track of every single thing in your game, and it's very helpful. If you guys don't know what voxels are the measurement of terrain that Roblox uses to measure terrain. So Roblox uses to see how much terrain is in your game. And the more voxels in your game, the slower it will run. So in this building project, when this base island was just filled up, actually no, let's do something here as a quick tutorial. Okay, so there's also another plugin that I also have called Part to Terrain. Very useful. So I used actually it's not what I used to make for the water, but for basic flat terrain, which is what I used here. You see all this is flat, so I still need to fill it in, add in a bit more detail. So where is it? Ah, Mr. QB, there you are. Okay, so we're gonna use Parts of Terrain. So voxels, as you see here, it just jumped up like 10,000 voxels. Insane number for this tiny little cube. Insane. So most people, when they terrain builds, even for the bigger games, I've noticed this. When people terrain build, they like to use parts, like giant blocks. And so you'll see on the edge of some bigger games, there's just a bunch of blocks here. And to me, that's not the correct way to do it. And there's a user on the Roblox platform called Kadekuru. He is the terrain builder, built all of the maps for a dinosaur simulator game called Era of Terror. Front page at one point, amazing. His maps they go so far into detail, and it's amazing. And so he showed me how to terrain build the right way. And as you see in most games, terrain is built thinly as possible. If anything, it's just a small little plane. Very small, thin layer. And so what he did, he's been applying the same concept with Roblox's terrain. And so that's what he showed me to do. To build terrain as smoothly as possible, because if you do that, by the time your map is done, it's going to be super efficient. The game's going to be able to run extremely fast. And so me not realizing when I first started on this project, I used that blocky style of terrain building, and so looking at this part counter, this entire island, including the water around it, was, if I remember correctly, it was 890 million voxels. Over 400 the times of the voxels used in this. So most of the voxels used in this map is just the water. All of the land that you see here, since the terrain is just so thin, probably like 500,000 voxels. So by the time I'm done with this map, me upgrading this, it would have gone from 800 million to probably roughly 30 million, which allows mobile users to be able to play this game, which is what I'm going for. This map is going to take a fat minute, and so I'm going to work on it a little bit today with you guys watching. So I hope that as you guys are watching this, you guys will learn a little bit about terrain building. Okay. Basic terrain tools, if you guys don't know how to terrain build. There's a region tool. I only ever use this for water to resize it. For an example, actually, I will add in some water here. Select a little bit. And what I typically like to do is, so you see these bubbles here, how they're floating along the surface? That means it's level. It is level with what you select. But sometimes it glitches. So what I like to do is just do it a smidge up above the water level. And then I also like to select it just a smidge below. So there we go. That is perfect. And this is pretty voxel dense, which is why the water is taking up most of the voxel part, as you can see up here. So, amazing thing about the region tool is that you can copy and paste chunks of terrain, which is amazing. So to do that, you click on copy and then paste and then move. So I'm just gonna move it over here. And then you can resize it, which is awesome. So I'm just gonna resize all of this. Just like so. So I'm gonna copy and paste this, I'm gonna move it up, and I guess I'm gonna work a little bit on the shoreline. Just a tiny bit, just a smidge. Just to give you guys a feeling of what using the region tool is and how useful it is for water. When it comes to terrain building though, big baddens from Roblox's point of view. But you have to add in water now before adding in any terrain, because if you try to add in terrain and then water afterwards, it's just gonna be really messy. Water's gonna just flood into your terrain build, and it's just not gonna look good. So always do water first. That is rule of thumb. That is also what Kade Kuru, my mentor in terrain building, is. You can say that's what he told me. Now what is this here? Did I copy and paste a chunk of sand terrain? Have I been copy and pasting sand chunks? It does not look like it. Are you just left over? Yeah. Yes you are. Okay. I was a bit worried there. This doesn't really need to be clean, because I'm just going to go over the subtract tool later, which is another tool I will guys. Yeah, I can speak English, I swear. I will show you guys later. There we go. Just working on the shoreline a bit. And then what I can also do is I can go back over this, kind of smooth it out, get the shoreline built and looking so sexy. Whew. Here we go. I probably shouldn't be making the water this deep anyway, just to save on voxel data space, but that's fine. Whew. Yeah. One thing that sucks about using water terrain is that these shorelines are just so, I don't know, gross. If you can say that. So if you have a good rock asset, which I definitely plan on getting, you can line the shorelines, I guess, with that at least a little bit, so it doesn't look too rocky. If you're doing a terrain build, and just a rocky coast fits, there you go. Then it will look great, and you will not have to worry. Okay, so that's a little bit of the shoreline done. This will have a rocky coast over here. Same with this. Okay, so the color coding here is kind of... So what you're looking at here is a terrain height map. So the blue here is like water. So that's how I know that I'm filling all of this in with water. In fact, I will just fill in the rest of this bay for hoots and happies. Hoots and happies. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that. You know what that is? That is A-okay. Hoots and happies. I like that. Oh my gosh. Thank you, ADHD brain. I appreciate it. Woo! I don't need that much water. Okay. We're just gonna fill in this bay here. Ooh. Ooh, not that wide. So how's everyone's day going? Hope it's going fantabulous. Hope you guys are having a great day with haha funnies and smiles. Smileys. What is this over here? That's looking like uneven water. Ah, 'cause it is! What the piss happened here? If you guys don't notice, there's a little indent here. So the water level's a bit icky. Why can't I see it here? But if you scroll up, you can definitely see it. Does it move? Why does it just randomly get terrible? Okay. Well, that's Roblox's terrain engine for you. Terrible. Why? Why is it so icky? Okay, so now it's lowered. See, the bad thing about Roblox's terrain tool, just... It'll see you have the exact same part, but then it just winds up getting the same level. I don't know. Anyway, we won't worry about it for now. Okay, another tool is the edit tool. Actually, region, fill. What the heck is fill? Oh, fill tool. Okay, so it's kind of... So you select that here, it will fill that in for you. Yeah, you will never use this. Same thing with rotate. Okay! Now time for the fun terrain tools. So you got add, subtract, grow, erode, smooth, flatten, paint, sea level, replace. I've never used replace in all of this building, so you guys don't really have to worry about that. But add, subtract, I use that fairly frequently. But the number one or the top 3 tools that you'll use in terrain building is grow, erode, grow. You will use this all the time. So grow, erode, and then smooth. Just to make it look a little bit more smooth. So in this case, I could smoothen out this area here real quick. For the brush settings, you have like brush size, which will increase how big your brush is. Since we're going as like small as we can, we do a smaller brush, but with smooth it doesn't really matter. I found that the bigger smooth brushes tend to make things more smoother, which is very nice. As for grow, how you should build, if you're going to build efficiently with the terrain tool, small brush size, Kade actually just suggested that I use 1, but I like to use 2. He said he typically uses 4 when you're doing like flat open plains, but I'm gonna keep it at 2 just to keep the voxel limit down. Okay, so if you guys remember, this was at 1.8 million voxels. Now it's at 1.2 million. So the water is going to be taking up the most amount of voxels in this build, other than the terrain. As you can see here, let's say, okay, I'm going to add in some grass, make the strength 1, beautiful. And what I like to do is just, I like to go back and forth. I can pretty much just freelance it here because I'm at like 1 terrain height level for a bit until I reach here. Over here is like mountains, so the higher I get, I don't really need to worry about that at the moment. So how this is, it's like sloping plains leading into the mountains. I'm from Washington, so I love mountains and pine trees a lot, which is weird because I'm from the desert side. Guys are from the United States. So these are like hills. So this is gonna kind of like slope down. And it doesn't really matter if it's perfect, which is awesome because nature is never perfect. Actually, nature is perfect in their imperfections. There you go. Now I can sound like a poet. Nature is perfect in her imperfections. Just like none of us are perfect. Happy little hills. There you go. Call me the Bob Ross of terrain building. Also, always helps to add in some like little pits and little hills if it looks too bad. If you think it looks too bad, then it never hurts to use the smooth tool. Yeah, this is it. This is what I do, or this is what I've done for hours on end. Just use this. You don't have to go up really close. You can keep going, just going back and forth till it gets to you. Or if you're going in really detailed, and you want everything to be exact, then you'd be like way up close, doing like clicks here and there. Like making it really detailed, but I don't really care. It's just sloping plains. So plains look like plains. Plains is flat. No one really cares about plains. It's just wide open. Actually, so these plains, I plan on making it covered, just slapping in a bunch of trees. Maybe throwing in a little mushrooms here and there. Need to make a mushroom model on Blender. That'd be quite very nice. Quite very nice. I don't think that makes grammatical sense. Anyway, it hit 90 degrees here. I'm not in California. No, I'm right underneath Alaska. It hit 90 frickin' degrees. Or for you international folk, it hit 36 degrees Celsius. 35 degrees Celsius. Very hot. Funny thing, it was 70 degrees here a couple days ago. Well, look at me. Just listen to me talking about the weather like I'm some like old dude. 70 degrees. And then next week we're supposed to have 55-degree weather. So Mother Nature decided to just completely blue ball us. It's like, hey, yeah, here, let me just give you a false sense of security with this beautiful weather. And then I'm gonna just come back and smack you in the face with terrible weather. Because Mother Nature's a frickin' thought. Who knew Mother Nature could be a player? We're always expecting the best from her, but seems like Texas though gives Texas the best of both worlds. Grand old Texas. Texas would not be a bad place to live, I will be honest. Okay, we're gonna go back over and smooth this out a little bit just to make it not look like a 5-year-old did this. Big thing about building, hide your imperfections. In this case, all of this is just too ripply. Actually, one thing that helps me build is like the turn off decoration. So all of this beautiful terrain that you saw earlier, yeah, this is, it looks ugly. It's like a bunch of pits everywhere, a bunch of giant jabs. This, I don't know what this is. Don't look at it. Don't look at my hole. Ew, gross. You guys aren't old enough for that yet. Okay, just smooth this out. Why? More holes! I don't want holes. Holes are bad. Holes are gross. Ha, that's what she's... sorry. Here we go. This can be an anthill. Why not? Okay. Bunch of holes over here we can smooth out. Ah, there we go. Beautiful. Some rocks. Nice happy rocks. Nice happy dirt and grass. Ooh. This is looking a bit rough. Like the good old Budweiser bug decided to pay a little visit. Here we go. That's looking nice and smooth. Kind of. Yeah. Okay, turn decoration back on. Ugh, gorgeous. Kind of. Okay, back to growing! We're gonna try and make this area match up with this. To do that, we're gonna make a nice little ramp over here. Just gonna slope this up. We're gonna create this as more of a guide. Okay, I think that's about the same height. Ooh, that looks bad. There we go. Yeah, terrain building is very tedious, and it's practically the same thing for hours on end, and it gets very boring, but that's fine, because in the end, you're gonna have a very sexy, very milfy looking map by the end of it, and it's gonna be all worth it. Okay. So just slope it up. This is kind of gonna be like a little valley, kind of. Hills on both ends. Not necessarily a valley, but kind of like a smooth hill out to the beach, and then with some jagged cliff hills. Jagged hillside. What I planned on this, so there's kind of like 5 areas to the map. So this area here, that's on this side of the mountains, it's gonna be kind of similar to, I guess, think of Seattle, how it just gets dumped on by rain. It's kind of gonna be like that. hills here and there, and so, but kind of flat, kind of. So there's hills. It's gonna be nice. Don't know why I decided to say that. I think I was definitely planning on going somewhere with saying that. Oopsie. Right, I was! So, this area, yeah, like I said before, but, I guess kind of like the lore, or like the look of this land is gonna have a lot of farms. So there's like cliffs up here, but there's gonna be a lot of flatter land over here. With farms and stuff, and like maybe lumber mills. There's a river over there, so there's gonna be like a little lumber mill. I definitely plan on adding that. I'll just have to build it. Probably just gonna be similar to the design of actually, I'm gonna model it based off of the lumber mill on the default map. Okay. So this seemed like I was finishing up a ridge. So maybe we'll go up here a bit. I have ADHD, so I tend to go back and forth with what I'm building. I'll lose interest in one part because it gets boring, and then I'll work on something else in this map. Till then, eventually, I've realized that I've been on here for like 5 hours, and then I get really bored and work on some other project, or I don't know, watch YouTube. Shoot. I like what you guys are doing. Thank you guys for joining into the stream. It means a lot. Thank you guys so much. You guys are hot and beautiful and talented people. Okay. So like most hills, we're gonna start going down over here, or just flatten out. Here we go. Okay, how are we doing? Okay. Okay, let's start lowering ourselves a bit here. Have I mentioned I don't like building with guides? I'm just showing this as like a technique. But if I'm like doing something with like slopes, then I don't necessarily like building with guides, because then it could turn out way too rigid. Like this, the slope is just going to be way too rigid here. It's going to look very bad, but that is fine because nature is imperfect. This is my map! Screw you guys! I look as good as I want or bad as I want it. Haha. Ha. It'll be covered up by rocks and trees anyway, so I'm not too worried. I'm fully planning on hiding my mistakes in the assets I download. Here we go. Beautiful. This will be a short dev stream. So I'll probably get bored and get off in like 20 minutes. But that's okay, because you guys get a short tutorial on short with a quotation marks, air quotes. That's what it's called. Call me autistic with English. Oh my goodness. I do not mean to offend anyone if they do have the autism. I am very sorry. Why couldn't have this been more smooth? That's why I hate using guides. You know what? Screw this. Don't use guides when you terrain build. This is terrible. Or you can. You know, whatever floats your boat. This is looking so rough. I never said I was the best at this either, which is why I love the smooth tool. So it can be as rough as you want. There we go. Beautiful. Woo. Is there music? I guess I haven't done an audio check yet. Okay, good, there is audio. Haha! Thank goodness, that would have sucked if there weren't. That'd be quite a bland and boring stream. Ooh. Okay, we will start gently sloping this up. So far, the slope up to this is going to look very smooth-ish. At least I can make it look smooth-ish. Ooh. I aim on having 250 or 2,250,000 voxels by the end of the stream. Which is 25,000 more, which is, I mean, comparatively just by doing terrain building like this, it's kind of a lot, but little wins. Little wins. There we go. That's starting to look smooth. Yeah. Heck yeah, we caught up with our little guide. I guess we'll flatten this area out. There we go. Oh, that's looking so unbearably rough. Let's try shortening it a bit. See, this is what I don't like about the tool. Like, that doesn't look very smooth. Like, how is this smooth? Like, it can definitely do better. Like, doing this looks so much better. But I'm not gonna go through the entire map and do it because I'm much too lazy. Because again, I can just use trees and rocks and assets. Yeah, I'm still screwing around with it. That's fine. That's fine. Screw it. Ah! Ah! Thank you for leaving a like on the stream. I appreciate it. Ooh. Whoa, that's the grow tool. I meant to use the smooth tool. There we go. Ooh, let me just less of that. There we go. Ain't doing no cheating here. There we go. We got a decent chunk out. We got this tiny square. That's something still, right? That is still something. Alright. I got family coming over, so I'm going to end this here. It's going to be a tiny, short little stream. I guess more of a terrain tutorial stream, if anything, while I was bored. I was bored, so I just wanted to teach you guys something. There you go. That's your guys' benefit. So if you guys did happen to enjoy, or better yet, if you guys happen to learn something from this, then please do hit that like button on the stream. Helps out the video and it helps out the channel. I do definitely plan on uploading a video here shortly, come tomorrow, and that should be uploaded. Around noon o'clock tomorrow. Like 12:30 tomorrow. So keep your eyes and ears open for that. And without any further ado, I'll see you guys in the next stream. Thank you.